Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today topic is, can we live in Mars? The idea of living on Mars has been around for a long time. In fact, it can be traced back to the late 19th century, when astronomers such as Giovanni Schiaparelli and Percival Lowell observed what they believed to be canals on the Martian surface. This led to speculation that Mars might be inhabited by intelligent beings, and sparked a fascination with the planet that has persisted to this day. In the early 20th century, the idea of sending humans to Mars began to gain traction. In 1919, the Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky wrote a book called The Exploration of Cosmic Space by Means of Reaction Devices, in which he proposed the use of rockets to travel to other planets. Over the following decades, a number of scientists and engineers began to develop plans for manned missions to Mars. One of the earliest proposals for a Mars mission came from Wernher von Braun, a German rocket scientist who later worked for NASA. In the 1950s, von Braun proposed a mission that would use a fleet of spacecraft to transport humans and supplies to Mars. The plan was never realized, but it helped to lay the groundwork for future Mars missions. In the 1960s and 1970s, NASA sent a series of robotic missions to Mars, beginning with the Mariner 4 spacecraft in 1965. These missions provided scientists with valuable information about the Martian environment, and helped to pave the way for future manned missions. In the 1980s and 1990s, NASA began to focus on developing the technology needed for a manned mission to Mars. The agency conducted a series of studies and workshops to determine what kind of spacecraft, habitats, and other equipment would be needed for a mission to Mars. In the early 2000s, NASA began to shift its focus to robotic missions again, with the launch of the Mars Exploration Rovers in 2003 and the Mars Science Laboratory in 2011. These missions have provided scientists with even more detailed information about the Martian environment, and have helped to identify potential landing sites for future manned missions. In recent years, there has been renewed interest in manned missions to Mars, fueled in part by the success of private space companies such as SpaceX. In 2012, SpaceX founder Elon Musk unveiled plans for a manned mission to Mars, and has since been working to develop the technology needed to make it a reality. While the idea of living on Mars is still in the realm of science fiction, significant progress has been made in recent decades towards making it a reality. With continued technological advances and increased investment in space exploration, it's possible that humans could one day call Mars home. Currently, NASA is planning a series of missions to Mars, including the Mars Sample Return mission, which aims to collect samples of Martian rock and soil and return them to Earth for analysis. In addition, NASA's Artemis program, which is focused on sending humans back to the Moon, also includes plans for eventual manned missions to Mars. Private space companies such as SpaceX and Blue Origin are also working on developing the technology needed for manned missions to Mars. SpaceX's Starship spacecraft is designed to be fully reusable and capable of carrying up to 100 people to Mars and other destinations in the solar system. However, living on Mars poses significant challenges. The Martian environment is extremely hostile to human life, with a thin atmosphere, low air pressure, and high levels of radiation. Building a habitable environment on Mars will require significant resources and technology, including systems for generating oxygen, producing food, and recycling waste. Despite these challenges, many scientists and engineers believe that it's possible to overcome them and establish a permanent human presence on Mars. The potential benefits of living on Mars, such as expanding human knowledge of the universe and potentially establishing a backup location for humanity in case of a catastrophic event on Earth, make it an enticing goal for space exploration efforts. One of the major challenges of living on Mars is the planet's lack of a protective magnetic field, which means that it's constantly bombarded by radiation from the sun and cosmic rays. To mitigate this, potential habitats on Mars would need to be shielded from radiation, either by being located underground or by being covered with thick layers of soil or other materials. Another challenge is the low atmospheric pressure on Mars, which would make it difficult for humans to breathe without wearing spacesuits or living in pressurized habitats. This also makes it challenging to grow crops and produce food on the planet. Despite these challenges, there are a number of potential benefits to establishing a human presence on Mars. For one, it would provide scientists with a unique opportunity to study the planet up close and learn more about its geology, climate, and potential for supporting life. It could also serve as a stepping stone for future exploration of the solar system, as well as a backup location for humanity in case of a catastrophic event on Earth. In addition, establishing a human presence on Mars could help drive technological advances in fields such as aerospace, robotics, and life support systems. This could have important applications on Earth, such as improving our ability to address environmental challenges or developing more efficient and sustainable ways of producing food and energy. Overall, while the challenges of living on Mars are significant, the potential benefits make it an enticing goal for space exploration efforts. With continued investment in space technology and increased collaboration between public and private entities, it's possible that humans could one day call Mars home. Thanks for watching video. Please subscribe this YouTube channel, Random Video House, and follow my Facebook page.